Hi guys, so I wonder, will Boris Johnson ever come to the point and say, sorry Liz Truss, you have to go? Probably not, as we're more likely to see more mistakes by her in the future. The latest one is expected to cost UK businesses billions a year. Now, Truss has been accused of making a catastrophic blunder, which could see British firms who signed up to the government's free ports, remember those, the ones that Boris Johnson has been banging on about recently, well, they look to lose out on export markets worth up to £35 billion a year. Now, this issue has been raised by Emily Thornberry, who is Labour's shadow trade secretary. She said clauses in the post-Brexit rollover trade deals with 23 countries, including highly promoted markets like Canada, Switzerland, Norway and Singapore, will exclude manufacturers benefiting from free port tax breaks. Thornberry said companies in Britain taking advantage of the new free ports around the country, including East Midlands Airport, Liverpool City Region, Plymouth and South Devon, Thames and Teesside and others, may now be forced to pay higher tariffs on exports to these countries. Truss, the International Trade Secretary, has signed nearly 24 rollover trade deals with the objective of reducing the financial impact Brexit has inflicted upon the country, while attempting to enable British businesses to take advantage of the tariff-free trade that was available to them before the UK left the European Union. However, the devil is always in the detail, and it appears that Liz Truss failed to remove duty exemption prohibitions, which are contained within these agreements, which state companies which have not paid duty on their imports cannot take advantage of the beneficial tariffs on their exports. Emily Thornberry said, and I quote, "When I asked Liz Truss recently what she was doing to promote the nation's free ports, I was told in response that this was a domestic policy and not something her department was focused on, and now I fear we're seeing the cost of that inattention." She went on to say, "Last November, when the Treasury invited applications for its new free port scheme, the small print warned potential bidders of the prohibition clauses contained in several continuity trade agreements the Department of Trade had signed in the previous 2 years. But despite that warning, Liz Truss went on to sign trade agreements with 10 other countries containing the same clauses, including key markets like Canada, Singapore and Mexico. It would have taken an hour of discussion and the stroke of a pen to explain the UK's free ports policy to negotiators from these countries and remove the prohibition clauses from those agreements, and I cannot understand why Liz Truss failed to do that." Thornberry concluded by saying, "On the surface of it, this looks like a catastrophic blunder by a minister stuck in her silo, and as a result, I fear that manufacturers in towns, cities and regions across our country who have succeeded in bidding for free port status risk missing out on access to key markets." Emily Thornberry then explained how she wrote to Liz Truss asking her to clarify the situation and even suggested that the British government return to the negotiating table to sort out this mess. She said the clauses needed to be removed before the free ports came into operation later in the year. Boris Johnson's government has responded to this by saying that there is no error and that it's not uncommon for free trade agreements to have provisions like these. A spokesperson for the Department of International Trade said that businesses would not be shut out of markets that Liz Truss had negotiated free trade deals with. The spokesperson went on to say that UK businesses would benefit from both free trade and also free ports, which will provide tax breaks, simpler planning restrictions and cheaper imports. It's another example of when a problem of Brexit is pointed out to Boris Johnson's government, they just ignore the problem. The amount of money wasted on test and trace, £37 billion, is going to be rivaled by the losses here, with the disaster hiding within the trade deals that Liz Truss signed. So, will Liz Truss go back and renegotiate the deals in order to exclude these provisions? Probably not. But even if she did, it would mean having to settle for worse conditions, as the other side would be in a position to demand more concessions. Once again, what the heck is Boris Johnson's criteria for hiring people like Liz Truss? Let me know in the comments section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?